Everything in the kingdom, please look up, ladies and gentlemen, everything in this kingdom revolves around the will of God. Shout this, please. Say the will of God. One more time, say the will of God. In Matthew chapter 6 and verse 10, Jesus teaching us to pray, he said that it be done in the earth, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. So he desires that his will be done in our lives and across the earth. Many believers have not been taught the role that the will of God has to play in manifesting faith. Many believers have not been taught the role that the will of God has to play in actualizing God's promises, ultimately walking in victory and dominion. So here's the balance. Now, because the Bible has a vast array, lend me your attention please. The Bible has a vast array of promises that can be made to be prophetic. The meaning of that is that you can, beyond the contextual use of a scripture, you can give it a prophetic application. I've taught that many times in this scripture. So you can look at a scripture and you can give it a contextual application that is beyond its contextual use. Do you know what that means? The tendency of abuse is there. It means you can pick up any scripture as fueled by your lust, as fueled by your carnal desire. Are we together? Or a scripture that may be true but is inconsistent with God's will for your life, and you can be quoting it and you can be believing God. Are we together? That provided it is in the Bible, God is committed to making it happen in my life. And sometimes you get disappointed seeing that it never comes to pass, and you are wondering, why is this so? Apostle said, once it is God's promise, I have found it, it is God's promise, but it is not working in my life. I'm telling you, when you find out that you have found a scripture, and sometimes in troubleshooting why it is not working in your life, you need to submit that scripture or that desire under the radar of the will of God. Is someone learning now? The will of God purifies our desires, and it only leaves the ones that are consistent with his program for our lives. This is very powerful. There's no point boring you with many scriptures that talk about the will of God, but it's important for you to know that the faith that produces must revolve around the desire to birth the will and the plan of God for your life. The faith that produces, if it is word-based faith, it must revolve around the desire to birth the will and the plan of God for man, not just bringing expression to your desires.